Shirley and I, when we go on dog walks, we get into some really deep discussions about just things that are going on in our world and society and what we're kind of witnessing today that maybe we weren't witnessing just a few years ago. Could be even like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But it does seem like this one particular thing has really amplified, and that is crime on our streets and criminals. They don't seem to have any kind of fear of ramifications of the law coming down on them. We've almost created a society that really doesn't take the law seriously. Thus, when the judicial system doesn't prosecute and the police don't make arrests for certain things, then people just begin to feel like they can just do whatever they want to do because they really don't fear that there's some kind of penalty. I'll give you a few examples. This whole thing with people going into stores, big groups of people going into stores and stealing out of stores that have really threatened the profitability and the ability for a store to maintain its insurance and things like that. These people that go into these stores and just steal and then just walk right past security guards and have no remorse, no problem with doing it, tends to tell me they don't fear anything from our government about some kind of penalty, some kind of ramification that they're due to their actions. I think it was, up to $900 and some odd dollars you could steal from a business and there would be no prosecution. I think that was in San Francisco or California. That is crazy because what they found out was happening, multiple people were going into these stores and stealing up to what they thought was around $900 and nobody be prosecuted. And that is so wrong. And yet we as a society just kind of shrug our shoulders and go, well, maybe there's insurance to cover that for that poor business owner. Or these big corporations, they can withstand that kind of loss. But we all get it back because those costs have to be brought back into the system to be paid for, and usually paid for in our products. Wages, whatever a company can pay. So that's one example that I was thinking about that's just craziness. But I don't know if people really are fearful of having any kind of penalty for drug addiction, drug use. They don't care. Most people will tell you they don't really care if somebody's doing that to themselves. And that's crazy. We right out here on Parker Road have, on a Saturday night as an example, and it's on other nights too, but car racing going down. Just loud car racing on stretches of Parker Road that they're racing, I guess, a quarter mile, half mile, and there's no fear of the police or fear of them losing anything. It's literally like they just do it, and if they don't crash their car, they race off and they live another day to race again. I talked to a police officer one time about this, that we were, and I asked him, what is the problem with these folks? They don't care. And he said they don't care if they get a ticket or if they get an arrest record about it because it's not prosecuted. And it's really putting the public in such jeopardy because what happens if you happen to be caught at an intersection in something like this and a car got out of control and went through an intersection and took you out? These cars that you see that they're racing, I guess a number of them are stolen cars, and they don't have a fear with stealing certain cars so that they can soup them up and race them because they know they're not going to be prosecuted. I asked him, well, what about losing their car? What if we just took their car away from them? And he said that's not a problem for them because they just find another car, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to make the modifications to make them a racing car. Again, this is just sheer craziness that there is no jeopardy at all on people committing crime. So we shouldn't be surprised when we see on social media people just beating each other up, people lashing out at one another in very violent ways, and there's no fear. No fear at all. There's no fear of the Almighty. There's no fear of government, of a system that's going to crack down on them, that's going to put them in jail. It's going to lock the door and throw away the key type mentality anymore. People don't fear that. All right, so how do we correct this? Well, I heard this the other day, and it's almost like there's a little bit of truth to this. You have to almost go full Muslim, full Islam, however that was stated. And what that means is, if you want to reverse society's thinking on something and make it so that they don't do anything anymore, you almost have to go to the other extreme of what we've always been. And that would be that you literally will have to start doing something physically to somebody to deter them from committing crime. And it's the age-old thing. If you steal, you get your fingers taken off. I don't know. You steal once, you get a finger taken off. You steal twice, you get 2 fingers taken off. You steal 3 times, you get 3 taken off. I don't know. Maybe a whole hand. But I think it does send a message to criminals that says, I really like having my right hand, so I don't want to do something really stupid that is going to jeopardize me from being able to actually hold something again. Novel concept, right? Pedophilia, rape, incest. I hate to say it, and the majority of those crimes are committed by male people, by men. And if you commit rape, you commit incest on a child, pedophilia, you're a child trafficker, perhaps you need to have your penis cut off. Maybe you get your penis cut off and you get a finger taken off. And that sends a message to society showing you have a bag to pee in and you don't have a finger. That person is obviously a pedophile or a rapist, especially a pedophile. They should definitely have to show society what they are. I don't know, you racing cars, if you lose a foot, you can't push on a gas pedal anymore. I know that's pretty straightforward. But I do think we just really need to start looking at how are we going to reverse this? And how are we going to get our society back to where we will prosecute crimes and actually make punishment something that people have to think about? I'm just putting it out there. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not a lawyer. Lawyers are probably part of the problem. I'm never sat really on the bench, obviously, as a judge to try to see what I'm dealing with every day. But I do know that people have evolved to a point right now that we're in that they do not fear their fellow man and the laws that we all are supposed to live by. Something to think about. I hope we don't go down that route, but I do not know what else is a way to cure all these problems that we've got with lawlessness and crime. It's him. We need to get back to him. Fear him, but have faith as well. Peace be with you.